Hey, kids, you're listening to a couple of annoyed grunt boys, and this is the 103rd Simpsons podcast. Me and my buddies just like we go way before everybody know we don't fuss and we never laugh. We just groove taking in the sight. Me and the boys. That's right, we're the Simpsons podcast that discusses the beloved animated sitcom The Simpsons, but not from seasons 1 and on. No, we said the first 10 seasons, we're not talking about you. We're going to talk about seasons 11 and beyond, because those are the episodes that we really don't talk about in the zeitgeist of The Simpsons. So we want to see if there's any episodes out there that can match those golden age Simpsons we all love and adore, but we don't watch them in order either. No, we watch them at random from our Wheel of Random. And I don't do this alone. No, I have another host with me. I'm Annoyed Grunt Boy Craig. With me is the other Annoyed Grunt Boy.
It's Steve. Hey, Craig.
The energy.
I know.
We just woke up, Steven. You got all this energy.
That's right. I had my coffee this morning and we're here.
Behind the scenes, inside baseball here. Usually we record these shows, especially lately, because we've done the newer episodes. So we record them the following Monday after they air. And we usually do it on a nice Monday evening. So we're, toasty and winding down the day. But we're recording this episode bright and early. I'm wondering, Steve, if it's in the morning, should we be putting on our NPR voices?
Oh, right. Go down energy a little bit.
Yeah. This Sunday morning, our coffee. What coffee are you drinking this morning, Steve?
I'm drinking a fine Rwandan blend made with my French press. It's a coarse grind. Nice notes of blueberry, caramel, just a hint of coriander.
All right. This week, my coffee, I'm not as advanced coffee drinker like yourself. I'm just a normal average Joe, like a cup of Joe, right? Yeah. So I'm going with a little flavored coffee. You probably don't approve of those things, right?
Oh, well, whatever works for you.
Okay. Well, I got this at World Market. It's a Stroopwafel flavored medium roast, coarse grind, and I used my Irish press. It's where you just take the coffee grounds and mash it into a potato until it forms liquid.
You just pour whiskey on top of it.
Yeah. No, Steve, we're still at NPR morning. I'm not drinking this morning,
right.
But sorry. That's my coffee for the coffee chat corner.
Oh, coffee corner. It's another great segment. Actually, that does sound really good. The Stroopwafel coffee.
It is good. And I wish I had a Stroopwafel to put over it to enjoy it. But I'm out of my NPR voices, Steve. It's the beginning of summer, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Spoilers for this episode coming up when Homer joins the motorcycle gang. Not everyone has a motorcycle. You see Lenny on a riding lawnmower, part of the gang. And well, Steve, it's summertime. We got to go to Craig's lawn mowing corner. I'm going to go mow the lawn because it's getting pretty tall. I don't want to be one of those people in the neighborhood. I don't want to be that house.
Yeah, with the tall grass.
Yeah. I have a gas-powered lawnmower, and it hasn't seen, service since probably maybe September was the last time I mowed. Because after that, nothing grows in fall and that sort of thing, right?
Right.
Seasons, they still happen up here.
Seasons change.
So we had to go pulling on the cord, still not turning over. I keep going, and I'm starting to sweat too because I'm like rough. And then all of a sudden, like last pull, the cord rips.
Oh, geez.
It's just, a rope cord rips, but it starts the motor. So now I have I got the vacuum, the grass vacuum, aka the lawnmower, ready to mow. So if I turn it off now, then I'm screwed because then I can't start the engine. But luckily I got the yard mowed up, and then as soon as I turn it off, then I can't start it again. So then I'm like, I can replace the pull cord. And so I have to learn how to figure out how to dismantle it. And it's not complicated, unscrew some shit here and there. And it took me 3 tries, but I finally figured it out. So I get it all ready to go. And I get to start, and it starts, and perfect, right? But it still takes me a while to get it to go. I only did the front part of the house. I'll save I just wanted to present
for the neighbors.
Front. Yeah, I wanted to present. I don't want people seeing the back, and they're not because there's a fence. So I was going to save that for another day. And so the other day comes around, and I couldn't get it started again. I'm like, God damn it! And pull, and then all of a sudden, second day of use of this rope, snap, and it breaks.
Oh wow! And
then I'm frustrated. I'm like, what is wrong here? And then of course doing some more research, and I have to go replace that rope again. But the reason it's not starting is because of a spark plug, Steve.
Oh, geez.
But now I'm learning a new skill set, Steve. I can now repair a rope and a spark plug on a lawnmower.
Wow, if you just keep on doing that, eventually you'll become a lawnmower master. And then you get to start your own lawnmower mechanic shop.
Or lawnmower gang.
There you go.
That's what I'm going to do this summer. I'm just going to take my lawnmower to like people's yards and just mow it. Like, hey, just give me $20. And the poor like kids who are trying to earn money for,
oh yeah,
just taking it out of their money or out of their pocket. Or it's actually like the real professionals that do like real lawn service, and people are paying hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start coming over to your house and start mowing your lawn, and only charging you like $20. And that was probably less than.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's cheaper because still paying $10 a week for guys to mow our lawn with a weed whacker.
Yeah, but that's what I had to do the other day because I wanted to go out to the backyard of the fire pit. I had to mow down grass area, and I'm like, well, I'll just use the weed whacker. That kind of works.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It just takes forever.
Yeah.
You talking about fixing your lawnmower. I've heard of a gearhead, but I guess you're more of a deer head, like a John Deere head. Yeah, that's what that is.
All right. Well, the showstopper there, Steve. Let's just get on with this week's episode. How about that?
All righty. Let's go hop in our time machine all the way back to November 28th, 1999. Woo!
Wow. That's like, we're going to have to like use the DeLorean and the Quantum Leap time machine.
And maybe even a phone booth from Bill and Ted. What was the number one movie in the box office?
It was the sequel to the first Toy Story and a prequel to Toy Story 3. So it was Toy Story 2.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way to put it, right? This one, I don't remember this one at all.
Can I admit something?
You've never seen it.
I don't think I've seen, I know I've seen Toy Story 1. I think that's it for Toy Stories for me.
Oh, you never saw the third one, Toy Story 3 Schindler's Toy Box?
No, I know it's depressing and there's a Holocaust or something about toys. I don't know.
And there's a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Lightyear. It's kind of weird thinking about this episode aired and then like in a week or two, this Toy Story saga still continues in a way with the new Lightyear movie. I know they're not in the same quote unquote universe, but I guess in a way it is, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it though, Steve. We were like 1999. We were, what we probably saw that week instead was probably like, didn't like Dogma come out around that time?
Probably around that time. Yeah.
When was Blair Witch? That was also Blair Witch time too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. That was a very big movie at that time because the internet wasn't the internet was around, but it wasn't as prevalent. And so there were still people who were like going to the movie thinking that it could possibly be real or actual footage.
I know back when the internet, when it took like 3 days just to download that picture of Captain Janeway.
Yes.
Me and comic book guy just like waiting.
Boldly go where nudity has never gone before.
In poorly photoshopped fake celebrity naked photos. That was the 90s for you kids.
Yep. Just slap that head of Christina Applegate on any porn star's body, even if they're black. It doesn't matter.
The internet was wild back then.
Yeah. Not like today when it's so safe and well regulated.
All right. See, well, we were all playing with our toys at Toy Story 2. What were we stealing off of Napster?
Well, Craig, it was 1999, so there's only one song in the world. That was Smooth by Santana featuring Robert Thomas.
I think this is the song we've probably played most on this podcast.
I think so.
So I found a Spanish version. So
I like it. It's fun.
Different take.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any episode or season 11 episode that we featured that hasn't had this as the number one song. I don't think there is one. It
was the number one song for forever.
Yeah. Because you figure this came out in the summertime and this episode aired on November 28th. So
was this the song of the summer?
Oh, for sure. Back before that was a regular thing. Yeah.
And now where's Rob Thomas, Steve?
I don't know. He's making iZombie?
I think that's a different guy.
Oh.
You're talking about the guy who created Veronica Mars.
Yeah,
Rob
exactly.
Thomas. Yeah.
Rob Thomas.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff, Steve. All right. Let's just go watch this episode.
All righty. So Take My Wife Sleaze. Homer and Marge win a motorcycle in a dance contest. So Homer decides to form his own motorcycle gang called Hell Satans. But there's just one problem. The name is already taken and the two gangs encounter one another and trouble ensues. Oh boy. So we'll watch that and we'll be right back. And we're back. Today we're talking about Take My Wife Sleaze, the 8th episode of the 11th season. It originally aired on November 28th, 1999. It is episode 234 in the show's run. Your nerd code is BABF05. It was written by John Swartzwelder, directed by Neil Afleck, and your showrunner is Mike Scully. The Scully years.
A Swartzwelder episode. We only get a few of those.
I know.
And, well, this is one of them.
Yep, he's written 59 episodes, but we've only reviewed 4 thus far.
59, come on. You could have just done 10 more.
I know, that would have been so nice.
The ones that we have reviewed would be Kill the Alligator and Run, Simpsons Safari, The Frying Game, and the Regina monologues.
I would say that's about a 50% hit rate.
Sadly, I think the Kill the Alligator and Run, which is still a controversial episode between the old school fans, but that's probably the best one of his that he wrote that we reviewed.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to diminish what he did in the golden age, but yeah.
I mean, Simpsons Safari, like there's still the bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
that's right, because we did that Swartzwelder like back to back. That was the 42nd episode was Kill the Alligator, and our 43rd was Simpsons Safari. So we did I remember us doing like a back to back.
Yeah, we're trying to ride the high.
Yeah,
and yeah. It's also funny to think about. Last week we reviewed the season finale of season 33, and obviously it's several years after, but it's kind of mind-blowing to think about how there are 495 episodes between the episode we're about to review and that the one we reviewed. So that's like any other TV show times 3 in between a season 11 episode and a season 33. It's just wild.
Right. And just think of the whole time frame between, when we record this to the year that this came out in 1999, honestly, it doesn't feel like that much time has changed.
I know.
Like, to me, like this episode is just as recent as most recent episode of The Simpsons.
Exactly, yeah. A new one.
Yeah, it just means like we're old and time just slows down.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be great if it was the reverse when you're a kid. Make time go fast. Wait.
No, you got it.
Do you want the reverse as a kid? You want to go fast? Well, no, because
you want to be a grown-up.
No, you're right. No, I take that back. Time is faster for adults, slower for kids.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Simpsons, they're timeless.
Yep, because time is a flat circle, much like Homer's head.
And the planet.
Yeah,
it's a flat circle.
That's right. It's riding on the back of that turtle.
I mean, all the other planets in the solar system are definitely planets in their orbs, but except for this one, we're just a flat one.
That makes perfect sense to me.
It does to me. And I think the universe revolves around us.
Yep, that's why we have life and other planets don't, because we're a flat circle and the universe revolves around us.
And I think specifically the United States of America, it revolves around the United States of America.
Well, yeah, because we're in the center of the circle.
And the center of the planet. Yeah.
Yeah, in the center of the universe. It all works out.
Right. That's why God is great. That he just made sure that us was the best.
Yep. G is G, as I always say. God is great.
My triple G is Guys Grocery Games on Food Network. Catch a new episode this week, Friday at 9 p.m. Central. We're not sponsored. I wish we were sponsored by Food Network.
Wow, that'd be great. I'm talking about Giada.
What a weird, Food Network. We need to get Simpsons fans to watch this network because Homer likes food.
Yeah, so we need about 72 Simpsons fans.
Yeah. And then they go to the Talking Simpsons and they get those guys.
Yeah, because they're better than us.
Yeah. Steve. Like we say on every podcast now, everyone's better than us.
That's true.
Well, let's get to the episode at hand here. Steve, it's classic. You got the classic intro. We see chalkboards. We see couches. We got it all, Steve. We got it all. Chalkboard gag is a little Bart writing, I can't see dead people. This is a reference, of course, to the hit movie that came out that year, right? 99, The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
With TV's Bruce Willis. He was the star of Moonlighting.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything else. And then you had Haley Joe Osment.
Yep, Slow Joey himself.
Osment.
And
that was a fun movie, Steve. He saw dead people.
Yeah, so I don't exactly remember. Was he just in a cemetery the whole time?
Yeah.
Cool.
He was just digging graves. He's like, there's one. And there's one. And Bruce Willis was leaning up against a tree playing a harmonica. And he's like, call me Bruno.
Hey, we don't talk about Bruno no more.
But how about a couch gag?
Yes, we do get a couch gag. The Simpsons sit on the couch, but then they get sucked inside the sofa and come out looking like shredded pieces of paper. This is the second time the gag was used. The first time in season 10's 30 Minutes Over Tokyo.
Was that the season 10 finale?
I don't think it was the finale, but it was towards the end. And I just remember very specifically my dad watching it and absolutely hating it.
And he would hate everything that you are doing now.
I'm sure he would.
What a positive start to this episode, huh?
Yeah.
The episode begins, as it always does, with the Simpsons watching TV. Well, actually, sometimes that happens more than you think.
That's true.
This time around, they're watching the Guinness Book of World Records when a commercial piques their interest.
Tonight on Guinness Book of World Records, a man who holds the current record for least amount of faces, with none. Help me! You'll also see the world's smelliest tumor.
Ew, these records used to be real accomplishments. Now they're just gross.
Plus, you'll meet a dog who can't predict anything. And 3 other things. When we come back, we'll show you the contents of a supermodel's stomach.
What an age we live in.
Oh, look at all that sweet and low.
Hey, remember the 50s? Remember television, Coca-Cola, and Dick Clark?
I remember television.
Come join me, Wolf Guy Jack, at Grease's Cafe, where it's 1955 every day of the year, baby.
Actual year may vary. Consult calendar for current year.
A 50s-style restaurant.
What a neat idea. Why don't we eat there tonight?
We'll go next month.
All right, Steve, you jam-packed that clip for us, didn't you?
I know.
We'll start with the Guinness Book of World Records first. Just the point that it's like there's nothing else to break, so it's just the lamest things ever.
And it was also in this weird time when reality TV was still kind of finding itself before like all the competition shows. So Fox would just throw together something for a Tuesday night that would be like the Guinness Book of World Records or America's Funniest Kids or Birds.
You forget those things. Like, wasn't there a couple like alien autopsy ones where like we have exclusive footage of aliens?
And it shows the same like 15 seconds of the grainy black and white footage over and over again until it cuts to commercial break, and then when we come back, and then they never lead to anything.
And they did like 5 of those.
Yeah. And then there was Inside the Magic Secrets or whatever.
That's what I was thinking of too. Yeah. And it hooked because we were at this age too, like kids being like, I gotta watch this.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna learn some real stuff.
I mean, I learned some magic tricks though, like how some of the stuff was done. It was great. I didn't like Jonathan Frakes host the those alien autopsy ones.
I think so, yeah.
It'd be like on a Sunday when The Simpsons isn't on, and it'd be like before the new X-Files, watch, or after the X-Files, whatever it was. Yeah. But the dog one is like the dog that can't predict anything.
And a little head tilt too. It's like
without a face.
And 3 more things, and then just the 3.
Yeah, just like
coming out the screen.
And that's, I think, the point you're getting to is like just make it flashy.
Yeah, just fill time and make it flashy. Kind of like what we do.
Hey, you're right. I mean, you're right.
That's right.
And you're always right.
Do you remember Dick Clark in television?
That's kind of funny because like Dick Clark was still in a way relevant back in '99. I mean, he was still doing the rock. I mean, he did the Rock and New Year's Eve up until he passed away.
Yeah, this was probably the biggest year for him. 1999.
Yeah, right. This is pre-stroke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he only had a stroke a few years later. But yeah, I remember TV.
TV is good. But 1999 had to be the biggest year ever for Dick Clark because he gets to drop his ball into the new millennium.
Yeah, he had to party like it was 1999.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Prince.
Right.
50s cafes. I mean, they're still a thing.
Yeah, I don't think the novelty is there quite as much, but yeah, they're still a thing.
Yeah, it's more depressing now. Like you go in there, it looks like it's still the same a building from 1950, and they haven't changed the decor, and it's all dirty and sticky vinyl. And
I wonder if 50 years from now, people will open 50s diners mocking the diners from the early 20th century or 21st century.
Back to the Future 2, makes that joke when he goes into the 2015 and there's a cafe that's like a 80s cafe.
Right.
Are we going to get like a 90s
like
90s
a grunge
nostalgia?
Cafe?
Right. Like Cafe Nervosa, like all the guys are wearing like really baggy pleated khakis and
yeah.
and girls in the like with like the half like the belly shirt type of thing, but like also like the choker,
choker necklace,
sleeves,
and
but also like really baggy like Jenko jeans,
right? The tube jeans and
and like the two tiny little pigtails on the like the Manic Pixie look.
Right, exactly.
I want someone that looks like Niles wearing like an ill-fitted baggy double-breasted suit
with a turtleneck underneath.
Yeah. And then other guys wearing like really light colored denim jeans with like huge chain wallet, either Doc Martens or Chuck Taylors.
It's kind of funny because that is kind of how the kids dress nowadays.
Yeah, trends and fashions always repeat.
It's true.
I mean, when we were kids in the 90s, the 70s was kind of coming back for like cool looks.
Yeah.
And then later in the 2000s, more of like the punk type of phase. Like,
I
think, we're now kind of in the right, but we are in that 90s is back to like like you were saying, like with the kids dressed in 90s way. Yeah.
So it's interesting because the next trend will be something that we're too old to appreciate because we didn't live through as children that whatever the next trend will be, the one that is emulating the 2000s, we will have been adults then. So the kids will be dressing like something that is too young for us, which is depressing.
Well, I think it will be. Well, no, I think it will be the early 2000s. But I'm saying like the kids, like the emo look.
Oh yeah,
that's probably coming back around maybe in 10 years.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably another decade, man. There'll be a lot of sideburns and
man.
belts.
I just hated every decision I ever made, like when it came to fashion.
Yeah,
I still dress like an idiot, but
yeah, when you look at photos of like when you're like 22.
It's fine when you're a kid because as a kid I didn't dress myself,
right? But
when you're an adult making your own decisions and buying your own clothing, leaving it on yourself and like, oh, so that's what I wore. Yeah, it's real cool to wear white band shoes when you're 25.
I want to wear bowling shoes because that's practical. There's zero traction on anything. Wear a U.S. Postal Service jacket that says like Biff on it or something.
Right. Oh man, we're being nostalgic here because of this 50s diner. Let's just and then I think one of the funniest parts of the end clip there was when Homer, when they're all like wanting to go to the restaurant, and just like, no, we'll go next month. Like, just this is a weird time reference. Like,
a month later,
you could say like, no, we'll go tomorrow. We'll go soon.
Right, but exactly a month.
Yeah, but exactly a month to point out or to make that a joke. It's just that's pretty funny. And then the title screen a month later. Simpsons like doing that kind of thing of, Bart waiting for something. It says to 6 to 8 weeks through the mail. Then the screen comes up 68 weeks later.
So we jump ahead to 1 month later, and Homer, Marge, the children, and Grandpa head to the 50s diner. Inside, Apu and Manjula are sharing a milkshake dressed as high school sweethearts. Edna and Seymour are sitting there in a car-shaped table in their best greaser attire. And then a waitress on roller skates skates by. News articles are posted on the wall with headlines such as "Milkshakes Popular," "Teens Rarely Pregnant," and "Hula Hoop Mishap Kills 3." God bless you, Swartzwelder. Lenny looks to use the restroom, and he walks up to two doors, one marked Cool Cats and the other Squares. He steps into the Cool Cats door, but upon hearing women screaming, he exits and then goes for the Squares door. But once again, women are screaming, which is a fun gag.
Yeah.
I like the idea of somebody being like not against anything, but just really has to pee. And so he's flabbergasted, like, all these people are trying to make, I just had a lot of soda.
So Cool Cats or Squares, like... It's funny because it doesn't make sense for any like man or woman. I mean, if you were to choose, I would say probably like, would Cool Cats be women?
I mean, yeah, I would say so.
And then Squares, I mean, that's like, I mean, really, it should be like the men's restroom would be like Daddy-O's, right?
Right. And
mommy.
Mamas.
Mamas. I don't know, 50s slang, I guess.
Yeah.
Although as a kid, though, I hated it when you did go to like a restaurant that had like funny things for the men and women's restroom because you couldn't figure it out. I can't think of one other example, but
yeah, like it is I don't like it when I'm just tired of bathroom signs. Like I like the inclusivity, but the whole one with like the mermaid and the alien, and it just says whatever, wash your hands.
Oh,
I think we played that joke out enough. We can just stop with that.
Right. It is weird, like when there's like a restaurant that has a woman's sign and a man's sign on it, and then both bathrooms are just one toilet and a sink. Lock the door. It's like, what's the point? Just say restroom.
I will say I prefer those. A single-use bathroom that I can lock the door. It's so nice.
Although I was wondering what the etiquette was, and I think you were supposed to lock the door. I was in a restroom where there was a toilet and a urinal like right next to each other, like by side, and then just one door. But they had a lock on it. I'm like, well, if I'm just here to like pee, do I keep it unlocked in case another person wants to come in to pee?
Right, because you're kind of keeping them from using the bathroom, but also
because I'm just doing a number one. A number two, that's a private thing, lock the door because there was no divider. So that's indication to shut the door. If there was a divider there, then maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it literally would have been if like I was standing at the urinal peeing and like I just turned over, I could pee on the person sitting down.
Maybe that's what it's for there. Like,
well, it was a piss fetish bar.
You ate at the Golden Road.
The Golden Corral.
Yeah. I'll have the number one, please.
All right. Well, besides having confusing bathrooms at the restaurant, they also have a special guest to meet and greet there. The original Dennis Menace himself, Jay North. Bart isn't exactly starstruck. And then also Homer and Marge, they find something to be impressed by.
Dennis the Menace.
Yes, I was America's bad boy. I once hid my dad's hat. At another time, I accidentally stepped in Mr. Wilson's flower bed. That was a 2-part episode.
I have to go.
California, here we come!
It's not a real car, Grandpa.
Allen Ginsberger's? An American cheese sandwich? Holy of dogs.
It's clever how the names remind you of the 50s and at the same time tell you what there is to eat.
Wow, look at this old-timey gizmo. I feel like I've gone back in a time machine.
Dad, they have those everywhere.
What an age we live in.
Ow! Oh, man. Oh, my throat doctor says I'm not supposed to do that anymore. Okay, is everybody ready for our nightly dance contest?
I'm not ready to dance just quite yet.
Not yet.
Jay North, America's original bad boy, Dennis the Menace. I had fun, jaunty line readings there.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have Dennis the Menace because, especially at this time, there's so many references to Bart being the new generation of Dennis the Menace.
Well, I mean, yeah, that pretty much started when the Simpsons started,
right?
And it's all even early on, they referenced the fact that they know.
Yeah.
Right down to the slingshot.
I don't remember the original show of Dennis the Menace, but I do in the 80s remember that cartoon that was really kind of crappy.
And don't forget the classic Walter Matthau remake.
Oh, yes.
That would be a good... I'm surprised they haven't tapped into the Dennis the Menace well yet and do a Bel Air version of Dennis the Menace.
Edgy reboot.
How would you do it? Like an idyllic, very whitewashed suburban.
Here's what I think you do. I think you get Clint Eastwood and do a Gran Torino type situation.
Yeah, I still want like a little blonde towhead kid, but like also like has a very dark secret. Or maybe here we go. It's two things. It's a Dennis the Menace / Small Wonder reboot.
Oh.
So Dennis is actually a robot kid, but when the scientist dad was putting Dennis together like in his lab during a stormy night, lightning strikes the house and it explodes chemicals that are electrically charged onto the robot Dennis, and so it creates an evil glitch. His whole mission, it's like Terminator, he has to kill Mr. Wilson.
Right. And Menace is actually an acronym for like metallic, empathetic, neuropathic, android, nice, cyborg entity.
So so his parents maybe were like government contractors to create a new breed of super soldiers, the Menace soldiers that were like robotic, but also his wife finds out because they lost their boy Dennis in like a tragedy, like a fire or something like that. So secretly he's created their son again as a robot, but she's not happy about it. So then of course there's struggle, their relationships on the edge.
Right, it's on the rocks. And
Wait, isn't that pretty much like the plot to the Caprica, the Battlestar Galactica
oh yeah,
sequel series or prequel series, I guess?
ah,
Yeah,
frick.
because their daughter dies and he's the creates. Yeah, okay, never mind. It's been done. The Simpsons did it.
Yep, Simpsons did it.
Simpsons created Battlestar Galactica and Dennis the Menace. What else in that clip there?
I liked just how impressed Marge was with the names being jokes, references to the 50s, but also describing what they are.
I'd probably eat a Allen Ginsberger, but not a polio dog.
No, that doesn't sound good.
An American cheese. What is this? So just a Swiss cheese, grilled cheese?
Yeah, because they're neutral.
Yeah, I don't know. That joke has a lot of holes in it, Steve.
Oh, jeez. That was a pretty cheesy response.
And Homer, of course, just pulling the napkins out.
Yeah, like a magic man himself.
Heart.
And then we get Wolf Guy Jack, who is obviously a parody of a reference out. I always feel like was even old then of Wolfman Jack.
He was still alive during this episode.
I think so, yeah. But I guess I didn't realize until doing research on this that he was from American Graffiti, because that's kind of I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
But that's why you think it's old, because Wolfman Jack and American Graffiti was 1974. Right, yeah. So that's why even as a kid you think Henry Winkler, the Fonz, he must be super old because that was the 50s. Not realizing as a dumb kid they actually filmed it it's more modern than you think.
Yeah. Right. Because it's filmed 10 years ago, not 30 years ago.
Right. Didn't we talk about? I feel we just talked about American Graffiti for some reason.
I think we may have. Yeah.
Well, it's on Stars right now.
Oh boy!
To start your new subscription to Stars, just go to stars.com/annoyedgruntboys. First month's $3, and then it's $9.99 every month there and after.
Stars. They don't have original programming, do they?
Stars. They're just like us. 72 listeners. Viewers.
They don't watch. They just put it on and then they do something else. But Marge is intrigued at the prospect of dancing, but Homer wants no part of the rug cutting. If he has to get a divorce, he will. Homer quickly changes his mind, though, when he hears about the grand prize, a vintage 1955 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. He frantically looks for a dance partner, and luckily, Marge is sitting right in front of him. She takes his hand with a happy, "Okay, Daddy-O," and then Wolf Guy Jack calls for the contestants to set their socks to hop and their tootie to fruity as he plays Mental House Rock by Johnny Bobby. I love Mental House Rock.
And just that name of Johnny Bobby sounds just such 50s. Everyone was named Johnny or Bobby. Homer and Marge dance alongside Edna and Skinner. You got Clancy and Sarah Wiggum dancing, and of course Apu and Manjula. I like how they're dressed in the old Letterman, or the old 50s high school.
Yeah,
it's got the old knit Letterman's jacket, or with the giant pigtails. Miss those characters, Steve. We can never see them again.
I know.
So everyone's showing their best moves. Homer and Marge are cut above the rest. Homer swings Marge around by her arms, and Marge responds by spinning Homer by one leg. Now, Steve, I know you might like it, and it's just absurd humor, but the laws of physics just are thrown out in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
So then Homer grabs Marge by the hair and twirls her around. That just seems painful.
Yeah.
And next they run up the wall. They do that old little wall run up, followed by Homer tossing Marge up in the air. And then she goes through the building and then re-enters through the front door, amazed to be in the 50s nostalgia cafe because he spun her so far back in time.
Yeah. She's just entering it for the first time. So he took her back in time about 20 minutes.
So Homer has the ability of time travel now?
Or Marge does. I don't know.
Or Marge, yeah.
Yeah, because, I think it's kind of like a dual thing, kind of like Cloak and Dagger. He throws her and then she can travel back in time.
All right.
It's actually kind of a cool idea.
You spin someone so fast they go back in time?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that how Superman saved the Earth in the first Superman movie? He just spun back in time real fast. Yeah. And Superman's a good movie, but the ending is just kind of a little muddled. It's a little it falls flat.
Yeah.
I think it's because it was meant to be a giant 4-hour movie. That's Superman 2 is really part of Superman 1. That's a long story. This is not a Superman podcast.
No, not yet.
not until the Simpsons retire.
Yeah.
So Homer continues spinning Marge, and then on the head, And her hair splits in half.
Nice. Wolf Guy Jack is impressed. He's never seen such blatant disregard for a partner's well-being. And Homer's won the motorcycle. As he reflects on winning the respect of his fellow man, Homer yells at the other dancers looking at him. Wolf Guy Jack calls for more records to be spun because at the Greaser's Diner, the 50s are never going away. We then cut to 3 days later when we find Wolf Guy Jack nailing an out-of-business sign on his diner because the 50s went away. He attempts to take solace in that he still has his love, but he soon discovers that she's nowhere to be found. He lets out one last sad howl as the rain begins to fall and a single tumbleweed rolls by.
Forgot to mention the beginning of the clip, or not the beginning of the episode where they're watching the commercial and where they go to the restaurant, like, the slogan's like where it's the 1950s every day, and then years may vary. Please consult your current calendar for current year. Yeah. They remind me of him closing down. But of course he's going to close down. He's giving away motorcycles like every day
on a nightly dance contest. Yeah.
That's not some good business practice there.
No.
Motorcycles are very expensive.
Yeah, and you can't just give them out nightly. Like, even if there were other prizes, like if the motorcycle's like just a nightly thing, it's just not good business. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it'd be like if the business was open for like 10 years, that'd be like a prize that people have to enter.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just give out like a jacket or free dinner.
Free dinner sounds good.
Yeah.
Like, what would be 50s nostalgia bar? Yeah, I'm going back to this, and I didn't really get to what I wanted to ask about this. Sure. Sorry. So the 50s, yeah. What would a 60s bar then be? Like, is that more of like a hippie vibe?
Yeah, I'd imagine maybe like you're starting to get into some health food, maybe like some wheatgrass or maybe just some weed.
Yeah, you can see like peace flags over and like end the war in Vietnam, like anti-Vietnam War kind of thing.
Yeah.
I see a more hippie.
Little coffee house vibe. Like,
what Beatles memorabilia do you display? You display more of like their later stuff, right?
Yeah, like
Rubber Soul and Beyond.
Right, like made some White Album stuff, and yeah.
And then the 70s bar, that's pretty obvious too. But see, the 70s bar or restaurant could be split because you could have because that's also hippie too.
Right, you can go hippie,
disco,
can go disco,
where disco stew would probably be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 70s were interesting because you had like all the disco and funk and stuff, and then you had like the power rock, and then you had like the soft rock, and then you had the punk rock,
corporate rock, and
yacht rock.
I would go to the yacht rock bar.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that is nothing in Portland right now.
Oh,
like that would do well. Like,
I think the problem is right now. As much as I love yacht rock, I think a lot of the fans are associated with like an older group that votes one way.
Gotcha.
And it's not as fun.
That's true. Yeah, we just like our soft rock hits.
Yeah, but all right, Steve, I have a business proposition for you after the show.
Alrighty, we'll talk later.
Yacht rock bar. Playing Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chicago's good. Some like Doobie Brothers, some like Steely Dan.
Ooh, yeah. Some Steely Dan. Asia.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. We can play Asia.
Guess who?
The band?
Yes.
Who? The Who?
No. Guess who?
Yes.
Actually, guess who? Guess who wouldn't really be yacht rock?
No.
But yes would.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Berlin.
Loop.
No.
I'm
just trying to name cities or
Europe
countries. Europe. Yeah.
Boston, Kansas.
Kansas. No. Boston. Yes.
Yeah. This might be, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. Boston is a good band.
Their first album is an album with every song is a hit. If you put on Boston's first album, you think you're listening to the best of Boston. No, you're just listening to their first album.
Yeah, it's just chock full of hits. And like, that's not my preferred genre of music, but no, it's just really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what else is really good? The Simpsons. The following day, Homer is on his newly won motorcycle. He's making fun little engine noises with his mouth. Homer makes a lot of fun noises with his mouth in this episode.
It's true.
Bart comments that he's bending the hell out of this cake stand and wonders why Homer just doesn't rate it. And then Homer asks his son, promise not to laugh. And of course, Bart's like, yeah, of course I won't laugh. Of course he promises. And then he admits that he doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle. And then just Bart bursts out laughing into tears. And there's like a fun little animation too, of like his like his like laughing, like his eyes. It's the crying tears eyes, but with the smile.
Yeah. He's just like doubled over.
Laughing so hard, keeps going when they're on the couch watching TV. He's still laughing. The breakfast the next day, Bart's still laughing. And then Homer's like finally asks Bart for help because Bart knows how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he still finds his ignorance hilarious. So then we get a little montage of Bart training Homer, accompanied by a very interesting song.
You showed me everything, now took me by the hand. Puppy dogs and Lincoln logs and castles made of sand. You gave me the courage to spread my newborn wings, spread mayonnaise and marmalade and other spreadable things. So I guess you are my hero, and there's something you should know. I wanna make it clear, so I'm gonna sing it slow. If you weren't a man and my father too, I'd buy a diamond ring and then I'd marry you.
So that, of course, is Nelson referring to Homer's penis, right? Hog?
I assume so, yeah.
This is an audio podcast, so we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, when Homer rolled into the classroom, he wasn't wearing pants.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was Kerbobble's vibrator in the background you heard. Look, she's hungover, and she figures the best way to is shut the blinds, maybe masturbate.
We've all been there, you know.
Yeah,
you got a headache and you just want to get your mind off of it. So, Yep.
So I'm assuming that's what happened, but really, that was Homer in the classroom. He peels out of the classroom. He tells the kids to remember to rebel against authority, and then speaker over the PA says to tell the kids not to listen to Homer, which is another funny thing where like he just says something and Skinner can hear.
Yeah,
I love it when the weird PA jokes they do on The Simpsons.
Yeah, I love it.
But Milhouse has already heard the cry of rebellion and can't get it off his head until then. Nelson, who loves hogs, smacks him upside the dome with a large textbook, and Krabappel thanks him for that.
Yeah, very nice. So I didn't know where to put this in, but this was going to be actually part of Hungry Hungry Homer as well, which is another 11 episode, another season 11 episode where I think Homer becomes friends with like elite liberals, and then they have like a no, it's when the baseball team leaves town and he has a hunger strike. But originally he was going to win the motorcycle, and the whole plot was going to be that he had to wear a helmet, so he went on a hunger strike. So they split it up.
All right, good on you.
Thank you. So anyway, at the First Church of Springfield, the topic is there's something about the Virgin Mary because she has cum in her hair, you see.
I'd like to come.
Inside, Reverend Lovejoy begins a sermon about John 4:13. Homer revs his hog's engine over the holy man until Lovejoy dismisses the church and the parish runs out with joy.
I like how they're treating church as like it's school. I don't think the preacher ever says, all right, church dismissed.
Right.
And then
bangs his gavel.
Yeah.
Holy gavel.
$50 fine, time served.
May the Lord be with you. Later that evening, Marge is growing frustrated with Homer as he has his chopper revving in the bedroom. And then Homer wakes up the next day just in time for the Tuesday morning movie, A Cautionary Tale of Teen Bikers Gone Wild.
I don't know what's come over Jimmy. He won't do his homework. He only salutes the flag with one finger, and he comes home every night with other people's blood on his shirt.
He's a rebel, I tell you. A rebel without a cause. Just like that boy in that popular movie we saw.
Yeah, that's the life for me, Marge. Cruising and hassling shopkeepers.
When will you teens learn to be uncool like everyone else?
Never, Pops.
That's right, never.
Yeah, you can arrest me, but you'll never defeat the Cobras. Nothing can defeat a motorcycle gang.
A gang? That's the answer.
Answer to what?
Hey, don't make me hassle you, Lisa.
I do like the beginning of that scene where the announcer's like, and now for your Tuesday morning movie. Like,
yeah.
These days and age, like, yeah, on Tuesday morning, you could turn on any cable channel showing a movie, but like just the idea, like back in 1999, like there used to be like, it'd be like the Sunday night movie or the Saturday night, Friday night movie. But like the fact that like they're just
Tuesday
watching the Tuesday morning movie. Like,
because you're either sick or unemployed.
Right. The end two with Homer, saying that's the answer, and like Lisa's,
what are you talking about?
There's like Homer's having a whole dialogue in his head.
Yeah,
but hassling shopkeepers, that's the life for him.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just recently saw something referencing a biker from the 50s, and like a gang was causing trouble, and so that they had three options: was either to go to prison, spend the $500 that they stole, or apologize, because that's how the 50s worked. We're like, if you committed a crime, you could just like, my bad, and then you're fine.
Boys will be boys.
It's true.
Have you know, I know James Dean has a wide list of movies he was in. 3.
Three's a wide number.
I've never seen those movies.
I saw Rebel Without a Cause in a film studies class a long time ago.
I just have no desire.
The best part about it is the millionaire from Gilligan's Island. It's his dad.
Oh,
Jim Backus, Mr. Magoo himself. Like, I know that it's supposed to be like tortured soul and a badass body, but mostly he's just whiny.
James Dean.
Yeah.
Steve, what would James Dean be saying if he was alive today?
Help, get me out of this coffin.
Wow. It's just dumb jokes, and I set you up for it.
I just love it.
You know, it's funny you think like what their career I mean, he probably would have gone the same way as like a Brando, like just been fat.
I'm a fat weirdo.
But that's kind of the goal for all of us, right? Become a fat weirdo. All
I'm
right.
pretty much there.
So Homer is donning a badass pair of shades, assembles the rest of his motorcycle gang. We get Moe with an old rusty motorbike, and then Lenny and Carl, who are just standing there. But eventually they have to acquire some sort of motorcycle. And then Ned asks to join as well. But Homer tells his neighbor Reno there that the gang is rebels, not conformos. But Ned responds that if he were a member, they could use his rumpus room as a lair. The gang's skeptical about that until they learn that Ned has just purchased a new bumper pool table.
Woo!
Wow. I've never been to a bar that has a bumper pool.
I don't think I have either. I don't know if I'd be better or worse at that. I'm going to say worse.
I'll say worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're playing the bumper pool. They're pouring the beer. It's kind of fun to also go back to Ned's rumpus room. I feel like we haven't seen it since when Homer and Ned became like friends, right?
Yeah, like way back when.
Yeah. So Homer calls out to order the inaugural meeting of his gang. But first order of business is the name.
The first meeting of Hell Satans is called to order.
I move we reconsider our club name. Make it something a little less blasphemous. After all, we don't want to go to hell. How about the Devil's Pals? No.
Or the Christ Punches.
I don't think you understand my objection.
I'm the president, and the decision is mine. We're Hell Satans. Besides, I already made our club jackets.
Ooh, machine wash warm.
Tumble dry. Ooh la la.
I go with Christ Punchers.
Oh, yeah, you got to go with Christ Punchers. Yeah. I just imagine, somebody speedbacking his ripped abs while he's hanging on the cross, and it's funny to me.
I just love how just like Flanders is just like, please don't do this. Like, I want to be part of this gang, but nothing Satan related.
Of course, that's a reference to the famous or infamous bike gang, the Hells Angels, who do good things sometimes or bad things. I don't know how biker gangs work.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're still pretty racist.
Yeah, but you always hear about them like doing teddy bear runs or something.
Yeah, but it's probably, filled with
racism.
I mean, no. Filled with racism.
They only have polar bears, if you know what I mean. By the way, I'm still pretty racist. Oh, God.
Sorry, what was that, Steve?
Kids in hot naked orgy. Yow.
No, the other thing you said.
By the way, I'm still pretty racist.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard you say.
God bless the sound editor for all your hard work. I'm not racist.
Wow. Oh, Steve.
Perfect. The Hell Satans hit the streets. Homer and Moe on their motorcycles, Carl on a rental moped from Hertz, Ned on a girl's bike, complete with basket, and Lenny pulling up the rear in a riding lawnmower with a full grass bag that needs to be emptied. They stop at a red light, and beside them is Chief Wiggum. He tells the punks that he's watching them, but Homer is ready to retort.
Can't hassle us, pig. We're going the speed limit. Oink, oink, oink.
Yeah, pig.
Oink, oink, oink.
You'll make a mistake someday, and then you're going straight to juvie.
You can lock us away, but you'll never defeat the Cobras.
Cobras? I thought you were the Hell Satans.
Well, oink, oink, oink.
That's fun.
I like how Wiggum's just tell him to go to juvie, or they're going to take him to juvie.
They're grown men. They can't go to juvie.
Yeah, I remember during the trial of Jared Subway, he wanted to go to juvie.
Exactly. Get a $5 footlong for them.
Oh, God. Is he still dead? I mean, alive?
I think he's still alive.
Yeah, that sucks.
Probably still in prison. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just forced to eat Jimmy John's every day for the rest of his life.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
No, it's a horrible punishment. Place sucks. I like Homer confusing the movie with reality and assuming that he's a member of the Cobras.
Yeah, of course, no wig. I'm just being, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah.
Uh,
So then the Hell Satan finds himself at the Quickie Mart parking lot, which is it's a perfect place to play pitch pennies. Remember playing pitch pennies, Steve?
Oh yeah, that's a
Pitch
good
the
time.
pennies, yeah. Until one of Homer's coins falls down the drain, and he finds, and just like a funny line, he's like, I can't believe I'm out $1,000. Just the fact that Homer had to go to a bank, get $1,000 worth of pennies.
There's a lot of pennies.
Yeah,
100,000 pennies.
I'm sorry, 1 cent piece.
1 cent piece. Yes,
it's not actually called a penny. That's a
Oh,
British
no.
thing. Yeah, isn't it? Like,
I think you're right. Yeah.
yeah. So then Apu steps out to tell the young hoodlums to get away. At first, the gang stands their ground, but then Apu brandishes the scariest weapon to any biker gang, a broom.
Oh no.
The wild bunch scatter, Homer attempting to grab all the pennies of the ground, only to lose most of them. After the Hell Satans leave, Manjula is disappointed in her husband as he promised no more brooms. Apu concedes that this is not his wife's way, but they're in America now. And I like this image too. They're very much just parodying the American Gothic painting.
Totally, yeah.
You have, side by side, you look at American Gothic and then you look at the image of just Apu and Manjula.
Yeah.
It's the new American Gothic. I like it. Instead of the pitchfork, he's got a broom.
Yeah, it's modern America as we see it. And it's kind of cool. There's, I don't know if we ever talk about it enough, but Manjula is played by SNL great Jan Hooks.
And it is a nice look at American Gothic because it's white people culture appropriating a different culture.
That's right.
Way to go, Swartzwelder.
Hey, he's got a new vision for America, and I'm here for it. I think. I don't know. His politics are iffy, but he's a funny guy. Later that night at 742 Evergreen Terrace, Marge is enjoying a book while Homer peruses the latest issue of Outlaw Biker magazine. He's delighted to see that they printed a photo of Hell Satans, and he's especially struck by how photogenic Carl is. But Marge is shocked to learn that she made the publication as well, featured as this month's Cycle Slut. Just then, they're greeted by some unwelcome visitors.
Carl looks great. Can't take a bad picture of that guy.
You took a picture of me when I was asleep?
If you'd been awake, you would have said no. You can see the bind I was in.
Her turn-ons include thievery and liquor. Her turn-offs include underpants, pedestrians, and justice. Oh. What in the world?
Satans out of Bakersfield.
You're the Hell Satans? What a fun coincidence. My gang's name is also the...
Shut up! You stole our club name.
According to our bylaws, we gotta stump you.
Take off that jacket, man.
Okay.
Now, eat it.
Sounds like he's doing a Weird Al impression.
Boy, there's a couple of voices in there that sound familiar, Steve.
That's right. We got Connor star and Hudsucker Proxy star John Goodman. I guess he was in some other stuff too.
Yeah.
As the lead biker. And then we have the most famous shark jumper of them all, Henry Winkler, as his sidekick Ramrod.
Ramrod was my porn star name.
Or Rod Sterling.
I was trying to think of other famous Rods, and that just line comes out pretty bad.
I know.
Like Rod Carew, baseball player.
Oh, yeah. Rod Stewart.
Roddy Piper.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that
was
was a porn
also
star name, too.
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah.
Or a good porn star, maybe Stewart's Rod.
Yeah. I mean, Rod Stewart did famously have his stomach pumped because it was full of semen, supposedly.
Allegedly.
Some fun trivia. Henry Winkler and Julie Kavner, aka Marge Simpson, played husband and wife 7 years later in the movie Click, the Adam Sandler Remote Control of Time movie. And John Goodman and Yeardley Smith, aka Lisa Simpson, also appeared in a movie together. We're Back, a dinosaur story from 1993.
And Henry Winkler was on Happy Days, a show set in the 50s.
Very good, yeah. It's funny how John Goodman at this time and for like the next 5 years had we a few years ago we talked about the McConaissance when Matthew McConaughey was everywhere, but there was a time when John Goodman was just absolutely everywhere. Like he would just host SNL if they didn't have anybody, and he hosted for 4 times 1 year, and he'd just show up in movies, and he was the it thing for a while.
And now look at him,
still very successful.
Oh yeah.
always a delight when you see him.
I know, and I'm trying to think of the word saying like I'm so happy he lost weight, or because he was always a bigger guy, but the fact that in his later years he lost the weight, so he's healthier and he can be around longer than
and we're glad for that.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Something to inspire. Yeah, he's
a good man. That John Goodman.
All right, so
great in the right to Gemstones.
Never seen it. So using the knife and fork provided, Homer eats his Hell Satan jacket, chewing with his mouth closed after being berated by Ramrod. I like how I forgot to mention the jackets. They're just, like straight up, just like almost like members only jackets, or just It looks like Homer just got like the Hell Satans, like he just got like stick on stickers to put Hell's Angel. Like no sense of like designing it.
No, just.
So he's eating that jacket there, and he slurps the sleeve through like if it was a strand of like spaghetti. And Marge tells the gang that Homer's learned his lesson, but just then Homer puts on a green turtleneck with Hell Satan written on it. And then Meat Hook sighs and tells Homer that he has to eat his turtleneck as well, alongside and asks if he's got any more things. And then of course Homer's like, yeah, these branded caps, frisbees, and pogs. Pogs are back, Steve, in Hell's Satan's form.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the following morning, we see the motorcycle tracks that have ruined the lawn of 742 Evergreen Terrace. Inside, chaos ensues with bikers dancing next to a broken window, a gearhead working on his hog, Meat Hook receiving a new tattoo, and another biker sipping from a toilet on the couch. The house is a mess, but Lisa tries to make the best of it, working on her social studies homework. But just then, a drunken, leather-clad slob uses Lisa's textbook to scratch his ass, and Lisa lets him keep the tome. Marge scurries to put pots and pans under the motorcycles, leaking oil throughout the house, as well as the passed out motorcycle enthusiasts, which are seeping chewing tobacco, which is real gross.
It is a really gross scene.
Marge questions her house guest way of life, but Ramrod explains that it comes with the territory.
I think it's great you've chosen to crash here, but do you have to be so messy?
Yeah, it's part of being a lowlife.
Hello, police. Can you send a SWAT team to 742 Evergreen?
Forget it, Simpson. Those pig noises you made really hurt my feelings. Looking like a pig as I do.
But you have so much inner beauty.
Well, be that as it may, the gang is wanted in 8 other states, and we have a little saying around here. Let Michigan handle it.
That's also our catchphrase on this podcast. Let Michigan handle it.
Let Michigan handle it.
Another just like such a Swartzwelder joke. Like, what does that even mean?
I know. I also like that Wiggum almost like looked down at his nose when he's saying how much he looked like a pig.
Yeah, that scene was very set up to just emphasize like, yeah, we literally draw him like a pig because that's the point of the joke.
Right. Cops are pigs.
And pigs are cops. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
They should have instead of like a canine unit, they should have a pig unit.
Yeah,
pigs are good at smelling like truffle, so they could smell drugs. You can train a pig to do that.
Oh, for sure. Pigs are smart.
It's funny because it's a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
or a pig on a pig.
Wink on an oink.
But we wouldn't be saying AC or AP, AB.
Right.
No, we would. All pigs are bacon.
No, pigs are adorable, and like sometimes I'm a hypocrite, but sometimes I'll see a pig and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I shouldn't eat that. And then I smell ham.
Yeah. No, I tend not to eat pork, but when I do, there's a little like I just had like pulled pork the other day, and it was delicious.
I know. Would you say that you went hog wild for it?
No, I won't say that, Steve.
Fair enough.
I would say
you pigged out.
I'm just going to say that the bikers have taken over the house, Steve.
Okay.
One fight over dog food with Santa's little helper. Ramrod using a knife and fork to try to break through a box of cereal. And Meat Hook is punching eggs into the toaster in search for something to eat. Marge stops him and offers to make breakfast. And Meat Hook says he'd kill for some waffles. Ramrod recalls that time in the Oakland IHOP where a waffle-related murder took place. It's probably his true story, like Oakland IHOP murder. Like,
right.
Google that right now. I bet that's the
thing.
Thing. Like, you know how like you take your like your birth date, like you say a Florida man on, and you put your birth date in Google, and it'll say there'll be an article that says a Florida man, and it happened on your birthday.
Injury in Oakland, officer cited in IHOP gun case in San Francisco.
What year?
2014.
So Simpsons predicted it.
Yep. IHOP shooting 1 year later, 85 seconds that changed Carson City. That's in Nevada, but still an IHOP murder. IHOP customer wanted an Oakland Park assault. Co-owner of Oakland Filipino restaurant killed in shooting. And we're just going to get more bleak, so I'm going to stop reading now. There have been a lot of crimes in Oakland and in IHOP.
Yeah, thank God in the town I live in, our biggest claim to fame for a fast foodery was recently a manager at an Arby's. Yeah, Simpsons like Arby's jokes, was peeing in the milkshake machine.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we made national news. Our Arby's.
Arby's, we've got the piss.
It's that's very gross, and the manager was even grosser because they arrested him for like child pornography.
Oh,
but Bill Oakley, if you're out there listening, I would like you to reassure the citizens of Vancouver, which is right across the river from you in Portland, to go to that Arby's and to eat there, to tell the public that it's safe to eat at Arby's again.
That's right. Although avoid the milkshake probably.
Yeah. I think the time frame they said when it was, I was like, I think this is the time I had Arby's.
Oh no.
But I never had their milkshakes.
That's good.
I'm like, this pineapple milkshake's pretty tart. Wait a minute, they don't even have pineapple milkshakes on their menu.
Oh man, don't get me started about Vancouver restaurants and pineapple milkshakes. Ugh.
That's a story for an inside joke that
we'll
go on and on about, and we probably have in the past, but
probably
we're still on the Simpsons and the Oakland IHOP. So the member brings out the laughter of the murders, and later the bikers show their appreciation for Marge's hospitality.
Hey, this is a lot better than that rancid filth we find in the dumpsters.
Thank you, Ramrod.
Marge, how did you get my jacket so clean? I've tried everything to get those blood and puke stains out. I've tried hitting them. I've tried yelling at them.
All it takes is the right cleanser and a little elbow grease.
Do you have anything that will get this emblem back on my jacket? I tried spitting at it, but...
Just put it on my sewing pile. Okay, I'm doing another load of bandanas.
Hey, that's a leave-in conditioner.
You're done. Next.
Dad, I'm tired of bathing in the yard. Plus, I think Rod and Todd are watching. No, we're not.
Oh, little perverts there.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're just watching Homer bathe his daughter? Like, I'm assuming she's in a swimsuit.
Yeah, I mean, but still, they're young boys. They can use their imagination. And to be fair, they were looking before, so they might have been looking at Bart.
Right. Huh. Anyways, yeah.
I like saying that he spit at the logo to get it on his jacket, not spit on it. He spit towards it. I don't know why. That just the little bit of difference makes it a lot funnier.
Meat Hook trying to punch it clean.
Yeah. I don't know. This is just such a old-timey Swartzweldery episode, and it's a lot of fun.
All right.
So the Simpsons home is in shambles. Homer has had enough. He recalls a quote from Benjamin Franklin about the similarity between house guests and fish, but stops short to realize that the bikers are gone. He boasts to his children about facing the tough guys, but then notices that there's something missing.
And those bikers saw that hard look in my eye. You know that hard look I get sometimes? And they ran away like schoolgirls with their tails between their legs.
Way to go, Dad. Hey, where's the food? And why aren't I at school?
Yeah, someone really dropped the ball here. Marge? Marge?
Dad, there's a note on the back of your head.
Really? Read it.
Thanks for letting us crash in your pad. We had a very nice time.
Oh, that's sweet.
P.S. We've taken your old lady.
Don't!
Could you at least tell me what you're planning to do with me?
Oh, don't worry. You're completely safe. None of us find you sexually attractive.
None of you? Really? I could have sworn that Ramrod... Well, did you see that picture of me and you still don't?
Sorry.
Well, good, I guess.
No one finds Marge hot.
I know, but she's incredibly attractive.
Yeah, maybe they just have different tastes.
That's right, and that's okay. Going back a little bit, I love when Homer has the note pinned to his back of his head, and Bart takes out the pin to remove the note, and then returns the pin back to Homer's head. It's a fun touch.
And you have Homer just like still smiling about it, like doesn't care. I like Lisa's line though when they're out down for breakfast, not realizing Marge is gone yet, but how much of a pivotal part she is in bringing everyone up, because even Lisa's like looks at the clock, hey, why am I not at school yet? Because Marge needs to be there to tell the kids to go to school.
She does a lot of run the house.
Yep. So then Homer vows to Bart and Lisa to find Marge, but if he doesn't, he gives an emergency to call. And it's a Korean love brides because Homer doesn't want to be alone. He was weird about the scene, like when he was saying, like, giving you an emergency number. I'm thinking, like, call like child services so they can protect you. You know, like that's what I thought. It was like he was going to die, but he was just saying, like, oh, if Marge is gone, but I'm going to live.
Right.
Which is weird. You see what I'm saying?
I just want to get, I don't care if my wife is dead. I just don't want to be lonely.
And like, is he just leaving the kids alone, or is he taking them to Grandpa or to the Flanders?
He'll probably leave them around the house, take his new Korean bride somewhere.
Well, they should at least clean up the house, right?
Yeah.
Marge would like that when they get home and it's a little bit clean.
Mm-hmm.
So Homer hops on his hog and rides to the biker bar called Papa Wheelies. And there's a sign out that says, ladies puke free. And we get our jam band back there, NRBQ. If you look in the background, they're playing at the bar. One patron slams another's head into the bar, and two men fight while a dart player aims for another biker's vest as a target. Homer's trying to get the attention, so he breaks a glass stein over a table, but then is whacked with a pool cue, knocking him out temporarily. So he awakes outside the bar, ready to show the bar folk what for. He enters in, and instead of smashing the glass stein, he, lightly taps it with a fork. And he tries to explain about his old lady who was missing. And then once again finds himself passed out in the parking lot of the bar, Papa Wheelies. And then he tries for a third time. And after that, Meat Hook announces plans for the gang and Marge.
All right, Satans, we roll out at dawn.
Where are we going?
To the Bikers Jamboree in South Dakota. You'll love it. Mickey Rourke's coming, and we're going to jump him.
There's more to life than boozing and roughhousing. Haven't any of you ever had a dream?
Yeah, I had a dream. I was in this beautiful garden, pounding the crap out of a shopkeeper. Then...
No, I mean the dream of a good job, a loving family, and a home in the suburbs.
Oh, man. To get all that, you'd have to kill like 50 people.
No, you don't have to kill anyone. Not if you have jobs. And the first step is an eye-catching resume.
No, I believe it's pronounced resume.
Actually, both are acceptable.
Yeah, I did see some bikers ride by here with the blue-haired woman about 10 minutes ago. Said they were going to spend the night at Crystal Lake Campground, Section K, Space 217. I'm sorry I can't be of more help.
I guess I'll never find her.
Just want to start with the gas attendant being so helpful and then feeling bad about it.
It is a good setup.
Yeah, it's just such a funny joke. Like, oh, well, I guess they're that exact camping spot. But guess
Crystal Lake, Section K, Space 217. Yeah, it's that classic. These TV shows would have asked the gas station attendant, like, well, I think I saw someone head east about an hour ago. That's it,
Yeah.
The fact they're just so specific.
Yeah. I got to be honest with you. I can't tell the difference between the way Ramrod says resume and the way Marge says resume. And I don't know if that's a joke.
Resume? Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I assume that, like, somebody was going to say resume.
Well, they're bikers, not idiots, Steve.
Fair enough. But yeah, resume. I don't know. I also like the fact that Mickey Rourke is going to be there.
Yeah, the fact that there's a bikers jamboree and then Mickey Rourke is going to be there. Just was this the time to like? Well, Mickey Rourke always like would show up at places, right?
Yeah,
even like The Simpsons.
That's true.
Yeah,
but yeah, that was just a jam-packed clip, as most of them have been.
Like the jam-packed jam band of NRBQ.
That's right. So while Homer rolls out in search of his wife, Marge offers job-finding tips such as not calling your employer a punk or a skank at a job interview. The OG Hell Satans appreciate Marge's sage wisdom, even as she corrects Meat Hook when he says that he broke his pencil rather than killed it. Ramrod has learned that violence is wrong. Marge goes on to say that civilized people solve problems with words. And just then, Homer appears and uses his fist to punch out the gang that has captured his dearly beloved. Meat Hook, trained in the ways of nonviolence, doesn't know how to respond.
Marge, what do we do here, Marge? He's using violence.
Talk to him. Use your words.
Homer, stop it. We've given up our violent ways. We just want to live peacefully with your wife.
No, my wife is not a doobie to be passed around. I took a sacred vow on my wedding day to bogart her forever.
Oh, homie.
There's only one reasonable way to settle this. You and me in the circle of death.
No, I just swept the circle of death.
Just the back to back of Marge's like, now we solve our problems with our words, and then Homer comes in just kicking ass.
Yeah. Tossing the guys, just kicking, just being a badass.
I also like how he, in the previous clip, how Meat Hook said when he was like, I killed my pencil, and he refers to a pencil as him. I just thought that was funny. I killed him.
Yeah.
Just because he's used to killing he's all the time, I think.
Right, and he killed the pencil.
Yeah. So then we get to another, I'll say, a scene that's not the laws of physics don't exist, because Homer and Meat Hook face off in a circle surrounded by Marge and the bikers. And Meat Hook lets out this vicious growl, and then just really funny Homerism. Like Homer just does a little cat response, like a meow, like you do like in a sexy thing,
Right.
I just thought that was like really weird and really funny and very specific. Like that part.
Yeah.
And the spectators chant "fight, fight, fight," and Homer and Meat Hook attack each other with chains. And once that intertwine, the chains are tossed. And then Meat Hook asks for a large wrench to battle, but then Homer ducks and weaves, backing up until he just grabs a motorcycle. and then Meat Hook grabs another hog, and they start fighting the motorcycle like they're swords. And they're fencing. It's like a lightsaber battle too, right?
Right. But with motorcycles.
Yeah. So they battle upstairs of a disheveled building. Meat Hook threatening to take the wallet of Homer once he is defeated. But Homer won't allow that, as his wallet was a gift from Newsweek. And just then, Meat Hook knocks Homer's bike out of his hand, but Marge is there to return it to her husband. So she just grabs a motorcycle, throws it off the cliff. And then, so with the advantage on his side, Homer takes several swipes at Meat Hook until it is clear who the real winner is.
Give me back my wife. Okay, you win.
I don't blame you for wanting her back so bad. A woman like that only comes along every couple of miles.
Aww.
Hey, can we at least keep her till the orgy in San Bernardino?
What do you say, honey?
No.
No dice.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, Mrs. Simpson.
Bye, Mrs. Simpson.
Goodbye, Marge.
Bye-bye, Mrs. S.
We'll stop at the nearest town and mail our resumes.
Resumes? It still sounds weird to me.
Resume.
Still sounds the same to me.
Yeah, I agree. So the Hell Satans drive away from Camp Crystal Lake, and Homer, with his unfinished business, rides back to Papa Wheelie's, with Marge hanging on tight behind him. He has some unfinished business to take care of. Homer walks into Papa Wheelie's, and someone yells, "Hey," at him, and he runs out with a keg of Duff beer under his arm. On his order, Marge quickly drives the motorcycle away down the street. Credits roll, and that's our episode. But those credits happen to be white, and we know what that means. So before we finish up our discussion, let's have NRBQ take us out to a break. We'll be right back.
All right, Steve, we're back. Let's wrap up this week's episode of Take My Wife, Sleaze. You know, we were talking about how that title itself is a joke on like an old like Henny Youngman, Take My Wife, Please, right?
Of course.
Was it Henny Youngman who, or was that just like an old vaudevillian joke? Well, no, because I think Groucho Marx, didn't they all say that?
Yeah, I think Henny Youngman is like the one who's most known for it, but I feel like jokes got passed around quite a bit at that time.
Much like Marge in this episode.
Exactly.
But not in that way. She got passed around to better the gang.
Yes.
Well, let's just wrap up this episode, Steve, like we always do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about our favorite jokes, maybe MVJ, most valuable jokester, some scenes we liked, and of course, some merchandise, something from this episode to get plastered on a shirt or tattoo, or maybe a biker gang jacket.
Yeah.
Which you probably should. I watched Sons of Anarchy. You're not supposed to make your own cut, as they would call it, because
oh really?
Yeah, if you like make even like a mock parody of a motorcycle gang, jacket or whatever, and you're not actually a motorcycle gang, that's very offensive towards the motorcycle gang culture.
Oh wow, I didn't know.
No, you don't want to mess around with that stuff, Steve.
Good to know.
Yeah. You're getting a vest, aren't you?
I'm gonna get a vest. Yeah.
Let's just get into it. What kind of what's from this episode would you get on a product?
Well, I wouldn't get a vest because I don't want to disrespect my biker brethren. I've also never been on a motorcycle. But
you've never ridden a motorcycle. I'm sorry, fake laugh like Bart, but I can't. Because I too have never been on a bike.
Yeah. When I was quick story. When I was a kid, my brother bought a what they call a crotch rocket, like a Japanese motorcycle. My mom was totally against it. And then my sister got to ride along with my brother, and she put her leg on the exhaust pipe and got a big burn. and my mom was just so happy to be proven right. I mean, she felt bad that her daughter suffered an injury. But ever since then, I was like, I don't know if motorcycles are for me. They cause a lot of family drama.
My mom's hated motorcycles because her best friend growing up had a motorcycle and she died riding it. So it was, motorcycles were frowned upon and growing up.
Yikes. So for merchandise...
You're just like, I think it's like nonchalantly, I'm just like one up your story. Like, oh, my sister got a burn on her leg, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks. My mom's best friend was killed on a motorcycle. Anyway, what do you want to put on a shirt, Steve? It's like a humble brag. I wasn't bragging. I'm just trying to read it with like how motorcycles in our household were frowned upon as well.
No, you're right. Yeah, no.
I mean, we could never watch Chips.
Right. Oh, we could watch Chips just because my mom really liked Eric Estrada and that robot from that one episode.
But luckily, my mom was dead before Sons of Anarchy aired, so that's when I watched Sons of Anarchy.
That's good.
Again, trying to one up you.
I think I want. I think I just want a shirt from Greaser's Diner. That's all. Just something offering the un-American cheese sandwich or a polio dog.
We've talked about it before, like how some of the restaurants have menus. I'd like a full fake menu of this to have a collection of menus.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Like that's a weird collection I want to start collecting. It's just like menus from other restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And then sit down, like on a Saturday evening. Quiet Saturday evening, like, let's go through my menu book. Like, oh yeah, oh, remember that diner in Des Moines? Oh yeah. Oh, that sandwich was good. Oh, we should have got that.
Licking our fingers, flipping each page. Like, oh, they had Benedict.
People have a collection of anything, and I bet there is people out there that have collections of menus.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be that person now. At least they don't take up that much space, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it does have memories of going places and experiencing things, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, well, for my product, there's actually quite a few from this episode, I think. How about just a t-shirt from the Papa Willie's motorcycle gang bar, where at the outside of it had a ladies puke free. Just have a shirt that says ladies puke free.
I like that.
So that one, but there's also like a mock one. I have an idea of one. It would be based off that song NRBQ, right?
Right.
Oh,
I see.
So at the end where you have like the image of Homer and Bart in the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have like loving eyes at each other, but you just have like a shirt with that on it, and then like on the top would be like, if you weren't a man and my father. On the bottom of the shirt would say, I'd buy you a diamond ring and then marry you.
That's it. That's the merchandise to get right there. We're done. That's the thing to have.
And then on the back, ladies puke free.
That's great. I love it.
Then at the bottom we'd put S11 E09. Take my wife Sleaze. The Simpsons.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an idea. I don't know if I'd buy it though.
Yeah, but it's a great idea.
All right. All right. What about jokes or scenes?
Oh boy.
MVJs. What do you got?
It's tough for me because there's so many good scenes. Just going right from the beginning, the whole Guinness Book of World Records thing, just joke after joke after joke. The diner was fun. I love the headlines, like the hula hoop accident kills 3 and teens remain unpregnant. And then just Homer constantly having the dialogue going on in his head, like about joining a gang, and then Lisa being like, what are you talking about? And then later on when he accidentally calls his gang the Cobras. I don't know. Homer's probably my MVJ, just because we're getting a nice little sweet in between of just some very slightest jerk-ass Homer, but mostly just dumb puppy dog Homer, just trying to live his life. I also love the guest voices of Henry Winkler and John Goodman. What I love about it is they're clearly them, but they're also like so into their role that you kind of forget it for a moment, and they're just like fun characters. So yeah, I think Homer's my MBJ, but John Goodman's like close second.
Yeah, they gave it their all, because you get Henry Winkler, who is playing the Fonz, and essentially like meant to be, the Fonz was kind of like supposed to be a biker in a way.
Yeah.
but his acting is so nuanced, you just forget that it's Henry Winkler.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Goodman has such a distinct voice. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Winkler puts on a voice where, you know, his normal voice is just, you know, very nasally, Henry Winkler, but then Goodman is always Goodman, but in a good way though, in a good man way.
Exactly.
He's fun in it. Homer. This is the beginning of Homer. Well, not the beginning. We're in the golden age of Homer just being a total dumbass.
Yeah.
And disregarding everything. Do I give him the most valuable jokester? I mean, Marge is funny with talking about the menu items as well. I thought that was a funny scene.
Oh, yeah.
And Lisa, Bart being Bart, laughing at his dad. But yeah, I guess Homer gets the MVJ. You can have it. Here you go, Dan. How many MVJs do you have in your trophy room, Dan Castellano? That we deliver these every week to the actors, by the way.
Yeah. We spend $40 per trophy. I know it's not the fanciest of trophies, but still, it's a $40 trophy.
Well, and I have to like sculpt them and then paint them.
Yeah.
I should make a mold, maybe.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah. But shipping is like $40 because it's like priority. So we're spending so much. I mean, we don't have their addresses. We just say Dan Castelletta, Hollywood, California, and put a stamp on it. And hopefully it gets there.
Yeah. I mean, it seldomly gets returned.
Yeah.
I mean, once out of every 3 times, but still.
Yeah. I still think my favorite scene. Well, I love Homer's little cat meow growl during the fight at the end. But my favorite scene still is when Homer's looking for Marge and he goes to the gas attendant and he's like, I don't know. I saw, a blue-haired lady there, but they headed over to Camp Crystal Lake, Section K, Space 217. I like just how specific he was.
Yeah.
Also, when he said Crystal Lake, too, I just kind of laughed because like, isn't that the lake, the camp in Friday the 13th? No, not Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Wait, I always get I get Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, and Halloween's all confused.
Yeah, it's easy to do because they all came out at the same time.
They all have slasher so many, porn. Yeah,
and they all have so many sequels. But yeah,
I think I like the Friday the 13th. That's Jason because I like those ones. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Nightmare guy because I think Freddy Krueger is silly, and also remember one time that for Halloween he came to our local Fred Meyer or Kroger store to get your photo taken with him like Santa Claus.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Was it actually Robert England?
I think so. Yeah. Certainly not a bag boy with a cheap mask that they also sold at Fred Meyer on aisle 12.
I had a glove when I was a kid.
I wasn't allowed one.
Oh.
I thought it was too violent, so they just bought me more G.I. Joes with 6 guns apiece.
All right, see, this Halloween I'll take you to Spencer's Gifts in the mall and I'll buy you a Freddy Krueger glove.
Oh boy. Assuming malls are open then.
Yeah. All right, see, well, let's just talk about what we really felt about the episode. We'll rank it. How about that?
Alrighty, sounds good. So it's easy to put on nostalgia glasses and just say that this is a good episode because I watched it at a time when I was obsessed with watching The Simpsons. But, watching it with fresh eyes, it's still pretty great. It's such a goofy, dumb, fun episode. I love the biker jargon. I love the total disregard for space and time and physics. It's just so jam-packed with like visual gags and jokes. I'm sure if you like paused it frame by frame in the diner, there'd be even more headlines. I don't know. This is a pretty solid episode for me. I feel like I may not have liked it as much as I do now when I first saw it back in 1999, just because the bikers probably, I thought like, they're trashy, so I don't like this episode, but they're a fun character piece. And it just really speaks to the Swartzweldian writing and how much he can do. So I'm going to say that, the motorcycle that Homer won was from 1955. So I'm going to give this a solid 1949 out of 55.
All right. Fair assessment. Yeah. I definitely probably didn't like this episode when it aired. We're in our very cynical high school days.
Sure.
Where we're all about like indie film and The Simpsons is just as good as it used to be, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of torn between this episode. Well, it was fun talking to you about it, and I think my problem, I just the physics of it, right? Like, how far is too far with doing like the jokes of of using the motorcycle as like swords?
Do you think maybe they went a little bit too goofy?
Maybe a little too goofy, but I think we're coming off of when we were recording this episode right off the heels of like the season 33, episode 22, the season finale, where yes, there's shit that goes on, but it's just like a poignant message. And this one's just one of those episodes. And maybe that's good that we were watching this one because we're coming off such of a heavy handed episode that we need the most absurd thing.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of the point of some Simpsons episodes can pull it off the most absurd premises.
Yeah,
at this point, it feels like, Swartzwelder was just like throwing shit on the wall. Like he still wants to reiterate like how back in the 50s, America was great. And he probably still wants to make America great again,
Yeah, I mean, you make a really good point. And there is definitely like, it's weird to think about like one episode is about the fall of the middle class and the other one is just about bikers. And yeah, basically taking place in the 50s, more or less.
What is this about? It's about nothing, this episode.
Right. And I think that's why why I like it, is because like in our modern age, we're so embroiled with, politics and thinking about the world at large, that I think that this is a kind of like an innocent throwback to just having goofy fun and not thinking about everything that's going on. And I think that's why I like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't hate it, but I think out of Swartzwelder Bible of Simpsons episodes, like it's better than Simpsons Safari, I think.
Sure.
Just by a little, right?
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
I mean, we like to kill the alligator and run. Is this better? This might be hit out of the 4 episodes we reviewed. This might be the second best one. I think Kill the Alligator, which again has absurd premises.
Yeah,
I guess I'd go back and watch it again, but I'll say that you liked it probably more than I did.
Sure.
If I gave it a ranking, they're the Hell's Satans, and they're kind of a parody of the Hell's Angels. The Hell's Angels were founded in 1948. So out of 1948, I'll give this episode 1937.
Alrighty, that tracks.
Maybe my mind's just been in a different place the past couple of weeks, but yeah,
I understand.
I guess it's goofy, but sometimes the goof goes too far, right?
Sure. Go.
All right. Well, hey, that's our review of Take My Wife's Sleaze. I think it's time to find out what we're watching next week.
Alrighty, and to do that, we're going to need that wheel of random. Let's give it a spin to see which season we're in. Ba-doop.
We have season 21.
Season 21. Alrighty, let's give it a spin to see which episode we're watching. Ba-doop.
All right, it's episode 10, Steve. So it's season 21, episode 10. I know you probably don't really know what season 21 is, so I'm going to have you guess this episode. The title is called Once Upon a Time in Springfield.
Once Upon a Time in Springfield. Okay.
I'm going to let you know it originally aired January 10th, 2010. So you have that year to work with.
All right. So if this were like in the past 2 years, I would assume it would be a reference to the Quentin Tarantino film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I also know that Once Upon a Time in Mexico was the movie. And they're kind of like, and there was a couple others, but they're like gritty Westerns. But I don't know if they're going to go for that. But I'm going to assume that Homer gets a job.
The end.
Yeah, that episode. No, Once Upon a Time in Springfield. Homer becomes a watch repairman and has to like find tiny watch batteries, and so goes on a gritty hunt from store to store trying to find batteries. And it's kind of an homage to a Western, like a bounty hunt. And meanwhile, Marge gets really into volleyball.
It sounds like your job's on the line to Al Jean, and you're like trying to pitch something where you're going to be fired. And I think with that pitch, you'd be fired.
I would be like, fair enough. I'll see you later. Sorry for wasting your time.
So the real story is this: Marge becomes a watchmaker and Homer's into volleyball.
Oh,
yeah. It was written by Stev, not Steve. Stev. Now, so the synopsis is this: Krusty is forced to add a female character named Princess Penelope to his show in order to attract more female viewers. She's immediately overshadowed Krusty as the ratings improve. Mart and Milhouse want to get the show back to the way it was, but the situation gets more complicated when Krusty and Penelope fall in love and decide to get married. Meanwhile, B-Story, Homer, Lenny, and Carl consider working at a competing nuclear plant when Mr. Burns cuts off their daily donut service.
Wow.
I mean, that second pitch is something you would probably say.
Yeah.
Do you remember this episode at all?
Not even a little bit.
Hey, we got some guest stars, though. We got Jackie Mason back as Hyman Christofsky.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway is Princess Penelope.
Mhm.
We got Catwoman herself, Eartha Kitt, and
We got two Catwomen.
Oh, right. Was this before
Yeah.
The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, The Dark Knight came in like 2012. Dark Knight
Yeah.
Returns. That's right. She's in the third one. Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Far Side himself, Gary Larson.
Wow, that's a huge get. He's not. He doesn't do a lot of public appearances.
Yeah. I think I remember this episode. Again, it's always those commercial pitches like a star-studded Simpsons episode this week with Anne Hathaway. And I remember like Anne Hathaway was going to be a character like, and wasn't Princess Penelope supposed to be like a recurring? I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I do remember Princess Penelope.
Tapped out.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking of. You're right.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I'm excited to watch this episode. I have aside from that, I don't really have any memory of this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think the story wise still sounds kind of relevant to these days because there's always, fans up in arms when, a show's being rebooted or remade, and they're up in arms if like a white male was like the character. Now they've changed it to a female or a person of color. And
right.
The internet gets beset over stupid bullshit over fake things like that. All right, well, that's gonna be a fun episode to watch. It was written by Stephanie Gillis.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think we've done an episode or two that she wrote, right?
Yeah,
Sounds
I do believe.
familiar. Okay, all right. Well, I do believe that you should all contact us on social media like Twitter and Instagram at 138Simpsons.
And you can always email us at 138simpsons@gmail.com. And hey, if you're so kind, go to your podcatching app and leave us 5 stars or the equivalent. But you don't need to write a real review. Just tell us the name of your biker gang.
And if you don't want to type a thing, then just talk to us. Leave a message. It's simple. Open your podcatching app on your smart device. Look at the show notes, and down on the bottom there should be a leave a voicemail for the Annoyed Grunt Boys. You click on that, and then you just leave the message. That's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. All right. For this week, I've been an Annoyed Grunt Boy, Craig.
And I've been an Annoyed Grunt Boy, Steve.
And remember, I got to empty my grass bag.
We've got a saying around here. Let Michigan handle it.
Sweet hog, Mr. Simpson.